when your money is running low or your popularity dims, start hating on Muslims. Proven method to work. Recently, Joe Rogan had Rupert Lowe, who is, I think, an MP. I actually have no idea of politics side of things. I think he's an MP, but he's the leader of Restore Britain, which is to be honest, they're a right-wing party, but they aren't as right-wing as other right-wing people would like them to be, apparently. Like the nationalists, the re-migration, get rid of all brown people, I only want white people in this country, deem Restore a half measure. But Joe Rogan, for some inexplicable reason, I don't actually know the reason behind it, has had Rupert Lowe on his podcast. Now, should Rupert Lowe not have the ability to go on any podcast that he's invited on and speak? Of course not. Should Joe Rogan allow him to just say things unchallenged or fact check them like he normally does? Absolutely. He should be doing those things. If he had anyone else on, he would, from what I understand when I used to watch the Joe Rogan podcast, was that if people said stuff or he wanted to know stuff, he would turn to Jamie, can you check that for me? And we would read something. Rupert Lowe went on the Joe Rogan podcast and just said stuff that was outrageous. We have the I'm sure I can say this word because normally on TikTok and you can't, but we had the rape gang report, the grooming gang report, where he alleged through very poor maths and a figure that is just wasn't meant to be interpreted this way, that 250,000 white British girls had been raped and groomed by Pakistani grooming gangs. Now, let me start by saying this before we go any further. Pakistani grooming gangs is or has been an issue within the UK. In different cities it has occurred, but not at the scale that Rupert Lowe is insinuating. And let me also make clear my beliefs. If it was up to me, every single person caught in acting out these crimes shouldn't be breathing any longer, and every person who supported it, because I know it was covered up and there was like police and all sorts going on, should at minimum be in jail for life. Let's continue. Rupert Lowe gets to say all these ridiculous things about Islam and how white women are just meat in Islam, and Joe Rogan's just like, wow, and he just crosses his arms and he's just, wow, I didn't know that. It's crazy. Unchecked. And it seems like Joe Rogan's popularity, his reach has dimmed recently, and he's just like, you know what? Fuck it. Get the anti-Islamic people on here. Get the anti-Islamic people on here. We've got money to make. It's just sad. Like, I watched Joe Rogan before. I stopped watching him just because the guests just got boring, or I just didn't have time to watch it. I watched loads of different things. Everybody watches stuff in cycles, so you really watch something for a little bit, then you really watch something else, and Joe Rogan has just never come back into rotation, and it is a bit cringe and stuff, but like, I never thought Joe Rogan would be the person who, I'm not upset he had Rupert Lowe on there. I feel like I'm making it look like that, but I don't want it to look like that. I'm happy for Rupert Lowe to go on any platform because I want somebody to be able to speak to him who can challenge him and prove the things he's saying wrong. Because that would be more helpful than just banning him from being anywhere or saying he shouldn't be anywhere. But it's the fact that Joe Rogan just sat there, and Joe has Muslim friends and Muslim people around him. So he could have easily said, yo, I'm getting this guy and he says all this stuff about Islam. Is that? Nah, he didn't do any of that. Dave Chappelle's his close mate, isn't he? And I just hope now that Joe Rogan's in this podcast, he will turn around and get on like somebody who can provide us the real context of what's happened. I imagine somebody like Mehdi Hassan or somebody like that would be an ideal guest following on, but again, I think when the money gets low, the popularity gets low, people start hating on Islam because it's guaranteed money. It sounds crazy, but like if you're a non-Muslim, well, obviously you'd have to be a non-Muslim, but if you weren't Muslim and money was low, you're trying to build a little social media, you had nothing else to do, load up the anti-Islam videos load up the anti-Islam videos, stop being a racist online, because money will come your way when you start doing those things. And unfortunately, that's the reality now. Like, you can make a political career out of being racist, far right, or anti-Islamic. You can just say what you want as well. Like, you can just say anything you like. If for instance you go on like a podcast and you're like, oh, I'm on Joe Rogan, this is a big opportunity for me, I should say some things that really, really don't exist. They'll work wonders, and people just lap it up. I've seen AI videos of like anti-Islamic AI videos, things completely unrelated to Muslims or anything in general, and it's just lapped up. It's just like, yo, can we get some more? Any attack happens to Muslims or immigrants, anything like that, and it's just like, yes, people celebrating online. The opposite happens, and they're just like, oh my God, we're being taken over. Joe, do better. Honestly, do better.